Morning viewers, Dave here from Backtrails Territory, coming to you from the Bushlore Survival, Tracking and Bushcraft School in Mullaney, Australia. Currently down in the base camp area of the training area. Certainly one of my favourite places to be when I'm over this way. And this morning I'm going to be doing a review on my latest knife, which is the Trapper made by Habilis in the US. Now I'm certainly not one for getting a new piece of equipment like a knife and spending 10 to 15 minutes doing a YouTube review of the grand unboxing, showing the packaging it comes in, all the specifications, and never actually putting it to use. So what I'll be doing is showing a brief look at the knife itself, the construction, a little bit of data on it, and then we'll put it to a couple of tests and see how we go. Okay, this is the Trapper out of the sheath. It's a gunmetal grey finish. There's about 2 or 3 different handle finishes available. This is the one I opted for, and a couple of sheath variations. I love carrying a fire steel on my sheath. The fire steel does not come with it. However, it's a very good quality semi-moulded wraparound style, compatible with most belt sizes. They're pretty durable. I spend a lot of time in humid areas, and I'm not a big fan of leather due to the adverse effects that moisture can have on it, but I'm sure this one will serve for a couple of years. Knife itself retails in the US for $179 US. Fortunately I got mine before the Australian dollar plummeted against the US, so I'm not quite in the hurt locker when it comes to a price. Blade itself is made of 1095 high carbon steel with a Rockwell hardness of 57. 9 1/8 inches total length in the old scale. You can do the conversion if you need centimetres, with the blade itself coming in at 4 7/8 of an inch. The blade thickness, one thing I like, is 3/16 of an inch. One of my main requirements for any kind of cutting tool is the ability to baton larger pieces of wood into smaller pieces for tool making or kindling, and this certainly fits into that extreme. Reasonable size. I don't have the biggest hands in the world. It's very comfortable for me, and the knife is rapidly becoming one of my favourites. Additionally, it comes with see here, a small depression. That's actually a bearing point for a spindle when you're doing traditional fire lighting with a bow drill. And I've tried that a couple of times, and certainly works a treat. Markings on the knife for traditionalists, not too sure if you can see them there. I see Habilis, the manufacturer, and also the Pathfinder skill. I wasn't aware that was on there till I purchased it. It's obviously a collaboration between the two companies. The grind on the knife is known as a pseudo Scandi, as it's Scandi being Scandinavian. First one of this type I've had, and I must say so far with the many use I've had, I'm very, very impressed with it. Handle also comes with 2 holes in it. Not too sure what the intent of that is, possibly for lashing it into a makeshift spear. That's certainly the last thing I would ever do with a quality piece of knife work. I'd never turn it into a spear unless my life absolutely depended on it, but I guess if that floats your boat, then that option is there. And you can see the riveting system is very, very heavy duty, and that the scales aren't going to come off that at any time. Okay, firstly just throw a couple of light use before I get into the batoning. The knife is very sharp straight from the factory. I haven't had to sharpen this at all yet. Having said that, I've only put it through a little bit of light use so far. I have stropped it a couple of times with a good piece of leather to keep the edge on it. So firstly, when it comes to light applications such as feathering wood, which is used for fire lighting, works perfectly. And you can do that all day, but you can see it's pretty effortless. Not too much effort needed. And certainly that thickness of the blade makes handling it with your thumb a lot easier. Now, I had to use it yesterday to make a couple of mid-grade wooden tent pegs for my Hennessy hammock, and it performed absolutely flawlessly. It's basically with a basic dressing of the wood, And as I said before, this I've never had to sharpen this knife yet. See, with not much effort there, getting down to a rough point. And it certainly takes off reasonable shavings of wood each time. Okay, for batoning, just going to try and trim this down into a couple of smaller kindling size pieces. It's not a very dense wood, but we'll see how we go. And to baton with, I'll just be using a improvised mallet, which I basically carved yesterday out of a tree root. Again, just to save using the back of an axe, just to club tent pegs, etc. into the ground. Okay, so straight through. Yeah, very impressed with it. For a reasonably small knife, there's certainly a lot larger ones on the market. It's it'll do most of your medium grade utility tasks effortlessly. Okay, I mentioned before about the depression in the handle, which can be used for a as a bearing for your spindle when you're making fire with a bow drill. Bit of a quick demonstration. See the spindle here. See how whole idea works such as that, and give a quick demo. I won't go through a full fire lighting demonstration, there's a million and one of those on YouTube, just to show you how easy this can be. And I would certainly always use the sheath when you're using this mechanism. It's basically into your board, bearing block on the top, and like so, medium pressure. And I've done this quite a few times with the knife now, and the only error it's had is mine, where I've caused the spindle to slip out. So it's works very easy, certainly much easier to hold than a lump of wood or piece of stone. Okay, that's it, the Habilis Trapper. As I said, becoming one of my favourite blades, more so every time I use it. Certainly if you're in the market for a very, very well made piece of equipment that will serve you well in the bush, give this serious consideration. Thanks for watching.